Hey, we're here. We're here. You're here. Aaron, you're here. I have a message I need to read. For those of you that tuned in for Dan Snyder's preteen celebrity foot massage, first of all, shame on you. Shame on you. And we will be recording your IP address. The authorities will be knocking on your door shortly. I am your host for this evening, Patty, here at the LA School of Comedy. We are intimate. There's an intimate group of people here tonight. And, you know, your normal host couldn't be here tonight. So they wanted to get you someone extremely funny who's on the cutting edge of comedy. Unfortunately, his agent didn't return our calls. So you're stuck with me. You're stuck with Patty. If that's okay, I'm very happy to be here. I'm actually back from my day job, which is I'm Elvis impersonator at a swap meet in North Hollywood. You like those? I got these things going here. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of comes from a maladjusted childhood. I don't know if this is a rare thing, but as a child, I was about 7, I walked in on my parents having sex. Yeah. It was the most awkward 45 minutes of my life. Really, I think it scarred me. It almost ruined Christmas that year. You know what I mean? Christmas dinner was not. I could not eat off that tablecloth. They had to change the tablecloth. It scarred me. It marred me. I was marred. I was marred. Because here's the thing. I have a strange relationship. I'll just kind of say this. I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. My mom was like a momager, and I started out as a catalog underpants model at 9, which you're probably too young to remember this, but back in the day, the Sears catalog, which was like the internet in a book that you got, actually had pictures of children in their underpants. And we got paid 3 times our regular hourly rate as models to do the underpants. So my mother would drive us to the auditions in our underpants. Back in the day, they even had underwear ads in the newspaper. Now you want to see an 8-year-old in his tidy whities, you got to go on the internets, and that could not turn out well either. You don't want to be searching that. So don't do that. Don't do it. But I want to say, 9-year-old catalog underpants model did not fuck me up at all. Not at all.
We can tell.
Yes, I think maybe it did a little, but when I was 15, I dropped out of school. Yeah, to go to cake decoration school. I was fucked up. I'm trying to tell you. I was briefly what you call hey, welcome. Anye West, ladies and gentlemen, he's here. This is a very, very sexy individual. No, I want to say something. I've known Anye for a couple of years now, and in terms of stand-up comedy, he is one of the sexiest stand-up comedies I have ever seen. You know what I mean? Like when you walk in, he could be some like a sexy hip-hop rapper guy. You know what I mean? We would buy that, City. I know I would. Thank you very much. Does it show? It just does show. No, I think he's very. Look, I'm going to put it this way, and don't get the wrong idea, because no Diddy here. But if this young man ever went to jail, I would like to go with him. I'm not going to elaborate. I'm not going to say anything. I would like to have him back to my crib for a little light Greco-Roman wrestling. I have the Siglets back at my condominium. Little Moga David. That's right. I will just say to you what my high school wrestling coach said to me. It's not gay if you keep your socks on. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Or as they used to say in county jail, it's not gay if you beat the guy up afterwards. This is not going anywhere good. I was talking about my mother fixation, because my mom, oh yeah, I dropped out of school at 15 to go to cake decoration school, which is pretty fucked up. I actually got bounced out in 3 months because of a meth addiction and an inability to spell. Yeah, you try spelling salutations without your Google machine. It was hard. It was not easy. And briefly for a while, I was a spirit animal to incels. They weren't called incels then. They were called losers. And I was a loser. Now, I never finished. I got what you call a GED. And if you don't know what GED stands for, you probably got one too. Probably got one too. But, we have trauma, am I right? I mean, in life we have trauma, and some of that trauma comes from our parents who meant well. Like, my mom, I remember she used to look at me when I was little, and she'd say, "Oh, Patty, I may be a schizophrenic, but at least I have each other." She was a lovely woman, don't get me wrong, but it was different. She died. Either that or she just hadn't spoken to me in the last 18 months, which if you knew my mom, you wouldn't find that too hard to believe. She was different. She had a borderline personality that knew no fucking borders whatsoever. She was worse at observing borders than Kamala Harris. Hey, I got a little political. She was, towards the end of her life, her favorite thing to do was just to tell random people, anybody, that she voted for Obama. Anywhere. I voted for Obama. Mom, the waitress doesn't need to know that you voted for Obama. Keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? I did. And I'll tell you the real sick thing about it. And I can talk to you guys, right? We're all here together. You're good. My mother would have never voted for Obama. She was an immigrant. She was a very strict Catholic and a devout racist. I got to tell the truth. I wish it wasn't true. You'd think these things were mutually exclusive. But if she saw Barack Obama walk on water, she would say, "I told you they couldn't swim, Patty." Racist woman. She was. Terrible. Immigrants. Both my parents immigrants with just politics just to the right of Attila the Hun. My dad, I have an immigrant dad. You have an immigrant dad. Nigerian immigrant dad, that'd make you toe the line. My dad, they're not known immigrant father. Do you have an immigrant father? No. You got the U.S. issued. Yeah. Now, immigrant fathers are, and the bar wasn't set that high anyway back then. But in terms of emotional availability, not real high. Like my dad, no matter what happened to me, it paled in comparison to him in his day back in Ireland. Here's what fucks my dad up. If I tell him I love him. Like last week, I told him he was sitting on the couch, and I said, "Dad, I love you." He said, "Are you queer? Are you queer, Patty?" Very progressive, though, queer. You think about it, right? Am I right? Yeah. And I made the mistake of telling him who I voted for once. And I've been Obama's girlfriend now for 16 years. That's your man there, huh? He would. That's. And politically, these are perplexing times. Very, very polarized. And I'm going to say something that might not win me any points here in West Los Angeles, but I do have friends that are Trump supporters. And I'm going to say something that might put me out on the edge there, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. All Trump supporters aren't racists. But all racists are Trump supporters. Oh, yeah, all of them. All of them. And if the racists think you're a racist, maybe, just maybe you are racist. And I'm aware that I suffer from a condition commonly described as that fucking guy's probably going to go vote for Trump face. I understand that. Resting January 6th face. I get it. Whereas Trump calls it J6. It's a fucking club. What the fuck? It's insane. This man's insane. Did you see him working the fry machine at McDonald's? Here's the thing about him. First of all, come on. But you could tell he authentically loved those French fries. And he also genuinely was very obsessed with the size of Arnold Palmer's penis. A long dead professional golfer's penis. I've heard of big dick energy, but this is fucking ridiculous. He displays what I like to call I'm kind of a dick energy. But it seemed authentic to me. Like those are two things that really excite him. And, The truth is, if he's obsessed with Arnold Palmer's penis, he's obviously never seen Dennis Rodman naked, because I gotta tell you something. Holy smokes. Woo! It was a long time ago. I was in the club scene, once a philosopher, twice a pervert. But good Lord! Yeah, this is good. But well, here's the deal. This was years ago. Like, anybody here a parent? No? No parents? Okay, let me see if I can get this. Oh, there, we got one over there. And okay, any children or former children here? Okay. Let me give you a little hint, former children. If you call your parents by their first name, you are not the favorite. You are not the favorite. My son, Mandrake, calls me by my first name, which I think is his way of getting back at me for naming him Mandrake. But it was a strange time. My wife was working as a magician's assistant. She named him, and I was smoking a lot of meth, so what are you going to do? So what are you going to do? But my son Mandrake lives an alternative lifestyle. Yeah. But let's give it up for the LGBT community, shall we? Let's give it up that we live in a time where you can be who you are and love who you truly love. Am I right? And if that's who he really is, I got to love him. Am I right? Because I'd hate to think he just started sucking cock to spite me. Could be worse. He could be a vegan. You know the hardest thing for a vegan to do? Keep it to themselves. Like little dietary Jehovah's Witness telling the world, shut up! Want to hear about it. But, I am a parent. I have 3 beautiful children. Thank you. Thank you very much for the enthusiasm. I have 5, but 2 of them are fucking annoying. And I do have a favorite. My favorite is my daughter, Nia. Nia is a criminal lawyer, makes 6 figures, drives a Jaguar, still on my phone plan. I don't know when this ever fucking ends. She's embarrassed by me. She's constantly embarrassed by me. When she was in law school, she was somewhat radical, and she would talk about, because I paid for her education, all of it, 100% of it. And she would say that she was going to burn down the patriarchy. Once again, I didn't know what that meant. Turns out, get a load of this. The patriarchy is me. This is with the snapping. It's like, it's jazz. Snapping. I would just gently point out to her that the patriarchy is the reason she has 0 student loan debt. Patriarchy's been pretty good to her, let's face it. It's not so bad. Not so bad. We were walking down the street last Sunday, San Vicente, and it was down the street from the Catholic Church, and there's a lady walks by of my vintage. She's dressed in a very ornate church dress, I could tell, and it was like a dress that she was liking that dress, And I looked over at her. My daughter's here. I looked over. I said, "That is a lovely dress. That's beautiful. The scarf goes with your eyes." And she said, "Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say that." I look over at my daughter. She's fucking shooting daggers at me. She says, "Dad, it's 2024. You just can't talk to women you don't know. Men have all the power in society, and when you talk to people or women that you don't know, you're demonstrating that power. That is a microaggression." I said, "How the fuck do you think you got here?" I microaggressed the shit out of your mother. I microaggressed her every fucking chance I got. Do you know why I did that, Abyssinia? No. To win her love. We were no swiping. There was no swiping back then. I couldn't be swiping. We were swipeless. We were without swipe. We were without DMs to slip into. There was no DMs to slip into. I couldn't slip into the young lady's DMs. No. No, I could not get in those DMs. I had to, on a Saturday night, I had to actually put on my pants. I couldn't be swiping. Pantsless. I'd be pantsless and swipeless. I had to put on pants. I had to transverse space. I had to enter an establishment where age-appropriate young women congregated, approach one of those young women, and make noises from a hole that's located below my nose. It's called talking. That's where you guys came from. Talking. Talk, talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk. Yeah. I told her, I remember very first words your mother ever said to me. 1992 at the Improv, front bar. I've been working there, and I was at one end of the bar, and she was looking over at me, and she was playing with her hair. I know what that means, playing with her hair. And then she did this. You know what that is? That's the original swipe right. That's called the come hither, and come hither I did. I walked up to her, and I said, hi. I had no fucking game whatsoever. She looked up, and she looked right in my eyes. And she said, Patty, do you know where to get any cocaine? And I knew it was love. I knew it was real love because I really loved cocaine, and so did she. Ladies and gentlemen, we just celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary. Come on. Come on. So here's what I'm trying to say to you young'uns. If those apps aren't working for you, try some cocaine. It worked for me. Might work out for you. Talk to Aaron after the show. He'll fix you up. Let's give it up for Aaron. He's over here. He's our technician. Our own sexy Captain Crunch. I like him. He's appearing in the Pornhub section of the sexy cereal mascots, along with polyamorous Count Chocula. Yeah, they're double teaming My Little Pony. I've got a new writing credit. Also, it's in the superhero section of Pornhub. It's bisexual Spider-Man. It's called Parker of Peters. No, it's kind of like he ejaculates through his wrists. It's different. It's a very different high-tech type of thing. And also, my directorial debut, it's in the specialty section of Pornhub. Little Trouble in Big Vagina. You might want to see that. I'm going to have a look for that. You want to have a look? Hey! I said hey. Hey. How we doing? Are we doing good? This is good. I'm having fun. I'm excited. I'm very excited tonight. I'm actually fully erect, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to explore that now. Although my wife, I think in a strange way, she was giving me signals when I left the house, because she's like, "Do you really have to go, Patty? You could stay home and we could air fry some tilapia." I think that was some fucking code. I think I'm missing on my cues, but that's okay. We're gonna move along right now, because we have a newcomer here to the mic, someone who's going to come up here and give us a little of her comic soul. And I'm thinking, because I actually do write. I'm a writer, and I'm casting I'm working on Kevin Spacey's new show on Tubi. He's making a comeback. Yeah, he plays a deceased, defrocked, disgraced Catholic priest who returns to Earth to counsel attractive young men in the ways of life. The title, Inappropriately Touched by an Angel. So you want to jot that down. But I have a new project coming up, and I have the part of and you have everything it takes for that part. You have the sensuality, you have the vulnerability of an alcoholic cheerleader. I think you're going to come up, snap it up. Let's snap it up, let's clap it up, let's give it up for Abyssinia. Come on up here, Abyssinia. Hit me with a pow. Come on, Abyssinia, let's give it up.
Thank you. Ooh. Thank you, Patty. Thank you for that introduction. I do have, what did you say? The vulnerability and the sexuality of an alcoholic cheerleader? Sensuality. Yes. Okay, right. Yeah, of all the things you said, that's where you draw a line, Patty. Well, thank you for the introduction anyways. That's definitely one of my spirit animals, so we can talk. Yes. Okay, so yes, hello everyone. My name is Abyssinia. Thank you. I know it's a lot. Abyssinia. 5 syllables. So I'm sorry to do that to you. But, Abyssinia is a pretty loaded name to have because it's not just a name. It's like a whole thing. Abyssinia represents the ancient empire of Ethiopia. So the only country in Africa, I believe to this day, never to be conquered by the white man. Yeah, so I love that for me. I wish it were true. But yeah, Abyssinia is also a type of breed of cat. Yeah. So Abyssinian cats are known for their beauty, intelligence, and allegedly aggressive nature. So I know, right? I guess that tracks because I am a proud childless cat lady. And I've been known, thank you. And I've been known to scratch one's eye out if you get a little too close to my kitties. So, yeah. Oh my God. Patty. Okay, and moving on, it's also a guinea pig. There's an Abyssinian guinea pig, and it's actually known to be one of the most friendliest guinea pigs. But it's also very high maintenance, and because it requires a lot of attention from its owner. So they have the nickname lap pig because they just want to sit there, look pretty, and be stroked. So, these are the facts, guys. That's all I'm saying. These are the facts. And, those are all very cool things, but don't get it twisted. Don't let those things fool you. Abyssinia also loosely translates to a generically sized, lumpy, warm, golden brown piece of shit. Yeah. You're just looking at one big hot mess. And I know you might be thinking, oh my God, she's so exotic. What is she? It's mixed, so pretty. Whatever. I just want to get a few things straight because I'm none of those things. Okay? I am black and white and Palestinian with an Ethiopian name, born and raised on the islands of Hawaii. That's Hawaii, for those of you familiar. So that's not exotic. That's a fucking nightmare. Okay? I am not mixed. I'm what you call bamboozled. Seriously. Because mixed is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or Oreo cookies and cream, right? Like very cutesy, very demure, very mindful. Okay, I am like a charcuterie board with Spam on it. Not fancy, not cute. Well, you'll try anything once. And they do. So, it's really not fair. And, you guys are the lucky ones because you just have to deal with me for 5-10 minutes, however long this is. And then you'll be done. I have to go home and be with myself and my own thoughts every day. I know. I don't think you understand. I literally have to consult with 5 different personalities to decide who I'm going to be on any given day. Maybe not too different from your mom. And I know it's really hard. I can't complain when I literally woke up like this, but, looks aren't everything. You can have the body of a snack and the confidence of a crumble. It's really true. Why else do you think I'm on this stage? My life is a joke. And did I mention that I have asthma, ADHD, and I'm bi? Sexual, not polar, apparently. You will take our wins. This is not the face of a sane person. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm not normal. I will never be normal. And for example, I'm one of those people who have never seen a minute of Star Wars or Game of Thrones. But I don't talk about it as a badge of honor like the obnoxious people do. I'll just sit there and smile and swallow it mid-conversation so you can land whatever point of or reference or joke, so I can like act like I get it. Which by this point I do, because it's so much part of the culture. Like I get it, winter is coming or something. But I'll just like swallow it, and then like act like I get it, and then later on in the car on the way home, I'll just cry myself to sleep and wonder why nobody understands me. So that is all that I've got. Thank you so much. I'm Abyssinia, and I'll be seeing ya.
Where can we find you?
Thank you. Abyssinia the Great.
Yes, give it up for Abyssinia the Great.
Thank you.
Hit me. One more time for Abyssinia the Great. Yes, 6 minutes, almost exactly. Well done. That's a good amount of time for me, but not necessarily stand up. It's a different story. Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, look, it's hard. I've been married a long time, so it's hard to keep the papa and the boudoir. You know what I mean? You resort to tricks. Like my wife and I, we do the hall pass. You guys know what a hall pass is? And my wife is a tiny Filipina. Tiny Filipina. I'm 100% Irish. She's 100% Filipina. That, by the way, in LA, that makes our children tall Mexicans. Don't know if you're aware of that, but culturally, that's what they are. But her hall pass is Idris Elba. Oh, she fucking loves her some Idris Elba, baby. You know what she calls him? Hot Black Jesus. Fucking loves that fucking sexy bastard, Idris Elba. My hall pass. I'm a true comedian. My hall pass, it was Joan Rivers. Until she died, they got to draw the line somewhere. Then, briefly, it was the Cholula hot sauce lady. She's hot, But turns out that's not really a real person. So it's not fair. So, strangely enough, now my hall pass, Idris Elba. Go figure. So if any of you got a line to Idris's people, give me the number. I think we could work something out. You know what I mean? Are you ready? Yeah, baby. Woo-wee! Well, I think we're going to move right along. Shall we move right along, childrens? Yes, I'm having a good time. Is it me or is it horny in here? No. Hey now. I won't do that. I won't cross the line, Abyssinia. I want to be one of those, because usually these mics are a little, well, even this mic is a little heavy on yang with not a lot of yin, You know what I mean? This is about the same. We're a couple testicles short of the Senate Subcommittee on Women's Health Issues here. But this next comedian is one of my favorites, and I like to call him the hardest working man. I would say in comedy, but I think he's one of the hardest working men just across the board. Can we have some love? I mean, some real love for Kanye West. Come on. Give it up for Kanye West, baby. Come on. He's excited to be here.
I am excited. Very, very excited to be here. Oh, man. It's been a day, guys. It's been a day. Had some trampoline dunk shows today. Never is normal doing that shit, bruh. It's like you wake up, you're in bed, you're in the car, and then you're jumping off a trampoline and dunking in front of like 100 elementary school kids. That shit is crazy. Not a joke, just my life. All right, what do I want to talk about? I have shit that I've written because I haven't been here in a minute, actually writing shit down. But every time you see me, there's a show like around the corner that I'm mildly unprepared for. But it just be like that. What was I going to talk about? Okay, so I got flown out to Chicago for a dunk show. The woo may not be necessary. I actually prefer this reaction. Just because when I feel like there should be rules on getting flown out. Like, I feel like you can't just fly me out and then that's it. Like, I gotta know the flight, I want to know what type of airline, like what, and then on top of what type of airline, like, and then like what seat, you feel me? Like, what boarding group am I in? You feel me? Because my social status is on the line. When I'm sitting there in the airport and everybody's boarding the plane before me, because I'm in the last gate, and they're like, "Oh, this poor boy has no money." No, I didn't get this. I didn't pay for this flight, guys. Like, somebody's flying me out, but you can't explain that to people as they're walking past you. And then I don't understand this either. Why are they walking past me if my seat's in the back of the fucking plane? I don't get it. Like, why am I not walking past them? I know where I'm sitting. I'm the last seat on the plane. Behind me is drinks and bathroom. I know. See, but God works in mysterious ways because I was very upset. Not upset, but I was like, damn, I'm sitting in the back of the plane. Like, you know, I'm not middle seat. Thank God I'm aisle seat. You know, it's not as bad. But while I was sleeping, because I took an edible, of course, you know, I passed out during the flight. I'm flying to Chicago. I'm like, we're at a 5 a.m. flight, like early as shit, first flight out of the airline, out of the airport. And while I was sleeping, my AirPod fell out of my ear. And, like, it fell into, like, the little seat shit underneath. And I'm like, fuck, I don't have $90 to spend on a new AirPod. Because that's how much it costs for one AirPod. If you guys didn't know, I've had to pay that price once, never again, hopefully. And it's like when you're on a plane and you drop something and you look to your right and both of the people sitting next to you are asleep, it really reminds you how minuscule your problems are, because it's like, yes, it matters so much to me, but does it matter enough to wake up a stranger? You feel me? Like, is it enough to where I would tap this lady and be like, hey, I know you're sleeping. It's 5 a.m., but I dropped my fucking AirPod and I don't have $90 to pay for that shit. Like, will you? I don't know. So I went through the flight and I was like, at some point, I'm going to get, like, in the middle of the flight, like, seatbelt lights off. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm underneath the seat. I'm getting busy trying to find it. And it's like as we get closer to our destination, it's like the desperation like goes up and up. Like, you're like, fuck, I need to find this shit. And I contacted every black person on the plane, and because I felt comfortable alarming them, because I'm like, this is a brotherhood. You feel me? Like, they understand my struggle. You feel me? Like, even if they haven't, even if this is not their AirPod, but I'm sure there's a situation in their life very similar to this where they needed a black hand to reach back and help. So I told the guy in front of me, another black gentleman, I said, hey, I dropped my AirPod. If you see it on the ground, let me know. He said, oh, it happened to me hella times. It's cool. He alarms the next black woman in front of him. At this point, all the black people know what's going on. Everyone else is confused. We get the airline hostess involved. She's also black. Shout out to her, man. And by the end of the flight, like, we have a fucking search party trying to find this AirPod on this plane. And funny enough, shout out to the internationals. There was a Hispanic flight attendant named Bella, and she was the one who took my actual seat out of the plane to find my AirPod underneath. And I just forever indebted to Bella. This is true shit. I'm still working on her review because it's a few pages long. I'm gonna make sure she gets at least some type of promotion. Like, I want some undercover boss shit. Like, somebody got to pull up on her. Like, she shouldn't be she should be a pilot or something. I don't know. Like, move her up. How do you move up as an airline hostess? I don't know. But there's a way. Whatever way there's move up, she deserves a promotion, because that was an amazing story that I feel like she needs to tell. Like, at this point, I'm gonna write a book about her. Like, I don't know. She deserves it. She deserves it. Budget airlines are disrespectful, though, bro. They drop you off anywhere. They don't give a fuck. Like, they dropped me off at the fucking departures gate. Bitch, I just got here. Like, how am I at the departures gate? I'm arriving. Like, this is like the main thing. Arrivals go to arriving. I don't know. I was bothered. Also realized that I'm in a point in my life where I need to go back to having a 2-seater car. I need to go back to having a coupe. Not even just like a coupe size car. I just think having 4 doors is just a commitment I'm not willing to make, because truthfully, I feel like when you have 4 doors, people are a lot more comfortable asking you for a ride. Truthfully. You feel me? Like, when you have 4 doors, people are like, oh, he has plenty of room. When you have 2 doors, even if it's a sedan size car, the effort of moving the seat forward, it makes people not want to ride with you. Like, that used to really help me out back in the day. Like, when I was in college, like, hey, we want to ride with Anya. I'm like, all right, bet. I start moving the seat. Like, actually, bro, I'm going to ask somebody else. It makes people leave you the fuck alone. Like, I don't know. I have a 4-door. I just don't like how comfortable people are asking me for a fucking ride. And I'm so nice. I'm going to say yeah every time. I'm not going to say no. And you won't even know I don't like it, because I'm not going to do it begrudgingly. I'm going to play my great playlist. You're like, wow, Anya, you have so much good music. We're vibing. You want to smoke? Here's some weed. But trust me, in my heart of hearts, I wanted to go the fuck home and play 2K. That's what I wanted to do. There's a timeline to this life thing, bro. I feel like I hate being outside. I got out niggered, man. I was on my trip. This Chicago trip. This is all the shit I wrote while I was going to Chicago. This is all shit I was writing like on this trip. I'm like, that's funny. I got out niggered, man. I was with my friend, my homie, that he's also a trampoline dunker. We were out And, we had to go somewhere. We had to pull out our IDs. When we get to the school, they had to get our IDs because, they make sure you're not like a pedophile and all these things. So you're going to school, you're on school grounds. They do a quick little background check, all that. If you didn't know, now you know. Real cool, real chill. I'm a sub, so I'm not tripping. Like substitute teaching, I'm like, I see this often. My shit's going to pass, easy money. And my homie, I was like, he reaches in his pocket, and I'm expecting him to pull out a wallet. This man was using a fucking Crown Royal bag as his wallet, as his fucking wallet, like a satchel, like taking it back to like fucking 1465. Like he has a fucking little velvet satchel that says Crown Royal on it, and he has his IDs loose in there. No fucking coins. I'm like, bro, why are you moving like this, bro? There's so many wallet options. Like you just out niggered me. Like what made you do this? Why are you doing, like, there's so many options. Like, there's the wallet chain. There's the, like, tiny wallet. Like, I got the cute little, like, pop wallet. There's options. Shit, get a purse, my nigga, but a Crown Royal bag? I don't know. I'm fucked up. I was just like, damn, I've never been out nigga like this. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've never seen this level of niggerdom. It's insane. It's amazing. Shit. I love how, this is, I don't know if this is funny or not. I don't love this, actually. I don't love this, but it's funny. It's funny how, like, it's like when girls say it's funny how, but it's not really funny. It's funny how whenever people owe you money, life is just so rough for them. Like, no matter what could go on in their life, it's like they could win the lotto, and you're like, hey, by the way, can I have my $5? Like, but honestly, my car's been tripping. Like, my stomach is hurting today. I got some ginger ale or something. Like, everything goes wrong in their life when they owe you money. Like, they already owe you money. Like, the excuses people give when they owe you money. But the homie rides the bus. And I was like, hey, bro, I slid him some bread for the bus, whatever. It was like a couple months ago. I seen him. I was like, hey, bro, like, I know I'm just kind of crazy to ask for it right now, but like you got that $5 that you owe me, bro. Like real quick, can I get that? This man gonna tell me, oh, hello, who's walking in? Hey, what's good, buddy? This thing gonna tell me that because his bus driver was having a tough day, he can't give me $5. Now, what the fuck does that got to do with you? But how did the problems permeate through the bus and now affect your life? Like, nigga, you owe me money, not the bus driver. Break me my bread. You walk through, buddy. You good? You solid, my nigga. That shit's like 4. You good? Yeah. I went to school. I went to public school. Shout out public school. Yeah. Public school. I went to prep school all my life before that though, so it was crazy. First week of school, it was like 27 fights in the first week. I wasn't ready for it. I'm getting a call from the homie. I'll answer that later. But going to public school was cool. My freshman year, I feel like my goal was just to make friends. You feel me? Like I had like a nerdy build. You feel me? Like I'm a nerdy looking kid. I'm skinny now, but I was skinnier before. I used to wear like I wore glasses, so it was very like off look alone, like how Patty was talking about, like, J6 face. Like I had very anime like anime, cheat off my test vibes. Like, like I was giving that. I wore a sweater vest. I don't know why I wasn't helping my case, but I'm like, fuck it. If we doing that, we gonna lean into it. But I went to school, and because my name low-key looks Japanese, they put me in Japanese class. I don't know why the fuck they did that, bro. Like, I'm already fighting anime, like, rumors, and now I'm in Japanese class with the real animators. But I had the one period that was, like, also a lot of niggas. And I knew public school was insane when I saw, like, okay, making your teacher cry is one thing, right? Making your teacher cry is one thing. But, like, your teacher crying out of anger because she's yelling at you and saying why she needs to go back to Japan and this is the worst class she's ever had in her life. And while she's doing that, niggas behind you are laughing and smoking weed inside the classroom. It was an experience, bro. Like, and it's like I was collateral damage because I wasn't even bad at school, bro. Like, I'm still trying to pass the class, but she was like, I hate everyone here. You're the worst kids I ever had in my life. I'm going back to Japan, and when I go, I'm gonna tell them never to come to this school. Worst class. I'm like, bro, I'm collateral damage at this point. She said everybody's gonna fail. We're never gonna be anything in life. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, say that to them. Like, don't fail me. Like, I'm just the same color. We not the same life path. I don't know. It was a lot for me. Shout out Miss Reynolds though. I hope she's doing better. She did 1 year and retire right after. Like, I was like, I understand. Like, that was the first like teacher retirement that I was like, yep, Makes sense. Like, it was nobody's surprise when she called it quits. And I wrote, I needed Beyond Scared Straight for Nerds. On God. No, I did. That's pretty much my time, I think. Right? I got like no time left. I'm cool leaving it there. Just getting back into the swing of things. You know, we got shows. We got the old material we're going to get back into eventually. But clap it up for Patty. Come back to the stage. I'm Anye West. That's ONYEWST. But Patty's coming to the stage. Clap it up for Patty.
Yeah, give it up for Anye West. Come on. Wow. One more time for the comic stylings of Anye West. Gentlemen, ladies, we're having some fun tonight. Are we not? Are we not? Thank you for, what's your name? Miles. What a sophisticated name. Miles. I always like it when my pilot on a plane has a name like Nigel or Miles. I feel safe, you know? Randy. I don't want a pilot fucking named Randy. Fuck that. Give me Miles at the helm. You talk about people that owe you money? There's a guy, and literally he said this to me. He's owed me $1,200 for 3 years. And he said, well, I'd rather owe you than not pay you at all. What the fuck? What exactly does that mean? I think he's not going to pay me. I think that's pretty much what he's telling me. But we have a balance in the room, so I need to explore something about myself. And please, let me know what your opinion is of this. My neighbor, Big D, before I came here tonight, he referred to me as his N-word. Now, he didn't say N-word. He said the word. He's got the proper qualifications. He's qualified. You know, he has the qualifications, and I base those qualifications strictly on the color of his skin. So I'm not a racist, but I'm still high. You know, I have to tell you something. There's nothing that, I'm 61 years old. When a cool black dude calls me his N-word, I'm like fucking high. It's like when my wife is in an outfit and a gay dude compliments her, she's like, wow. You know, because that's the level of, you know, of what's attractive. Does that make sense? What does that mean? I'm scared. I don't know what it means. I'm just discovering myself. That's okay. Oh, by the way, just for your guys' information, this is the point in the evening where you, all of you, just look at me, feel a little bit better about yourself. Drink it in. My gift to you. Give it up. Give it up for me. Come on, you guys. Okay, we're going to bring up now the man who produces this show, the man behind the cameras, the man who records all your comic genius so you can review it later and woo the world. Woo the world. Can we get a little excitement? I'm going to do a mock excitement test. I like it. You were clapping, snapping. I love all that stuff. That's a clapping, snapping, clap. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I just want mutual orgasms across the room. I mean excitement. I'll get you a cloth, but it's a figurative. It's not literal. So 1, 2, 3, give it up. Ooh, we missed. We missed. This happens to me all the time, by the way. Why don't we just get excited for the one and only Aaron? Give it up for Aaron McIntyre. Come on, keep it going for Aaron McIntyre. So let's get some snaps, too. Come on, some snaps, baby, snaps.
Snaps, give me snaps, baby.
Aaron McIntyre, come on.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Good night? Good night, you having fun? Yes, my name is Aaron, but it's not Aaron, it's not Aaron, it's Aaron. Okay, so it's A-E-R-O-N. And I'm actually thinking about changing it just to A-E-Ron because everybody keeps calling me A-A-Ron. And I'm sick of it. I'm not going to have it anymore. Okay? Don't do it. I figure what I'm going to do right now is I'm not going to do any comedy. Well, I'll try to be funny, but I'm not going to do any comedy. I'm going to tell you about a workshop that I've got coming up here at the LA School of Comedy. My company is called Film Actors Cafe. I've been up in the Bay Area for 15 years as Film Actors Cafe. I've been teaching for 35 years. I started in San Francisco in 1986. No, yeah, 86. It's all a blur, you know, lots of cocaine, okay? So, you know, it's all a blur. But, so yeah, I started at Gene Shelton Acting School, which was a professional acting school up there at the time, one of the biggest. and studied there for 3 years, started teaching, and then I continued studying the entire time I taught. I have still taken classes in the last year. It's very important for every actor. What I always tell people is the only time you stop studying is when you're working so much that you can't study. So it's really important to keep that sharp on your nose. You're out a couple days from comedy, right? You know, it starts to slip away. So I thought I'd give a little resume. I started this last week, and I went from the age of 3, which is the first memory I have of that spark, all the way through elementary up to high school. So in high school, in junior high, I didn't do anything for 3 years, and it's because I was with the hoodlums. And you know, the hoodlums, they don't like gay shit like acting, right? You don't do that shit, especially in Colorado, where I come from. But then I moved to a little town in the mountains called Woodland Park, and my graduating class was 97 people, and there was a hot girl, and she was an actress, and I went, I could do that. So I got back into it then, and then I was just off to the races. Racist. See? Did you hear that? Because I actually did play I played a Chinese grandfather, okay? And it may have been a little racist at the time, but, you know, it was a long time ago. I was unaware. I was only in high school. And the only reason I was playing the Chinese grandfather is because there were no Asians in that town. As a matter of fact, there were no Asians. There were no Hispanics. There were no blacks. There was only one kid who was an American Indian. Everybody else was white. You look at my what is that thing called? The end of the year, they put a book out called a yearbook. Yes, at the end of the year, it's a yearbook. All white people, nothing but white people. And it took me about a year because I grew up, my dad was in the Air Force, so we moved out all over the place. And so I was used to, you know, I mean, I never knew anything else, you know, and moved to this town. And it took me about a year, and I looked around, and I was like, there's nobody here who's not white. And they went, yeah, there was a black family that moved in about 2 years ago, and their kids were so tormented in school they had to move. So that tells you where I grew up. There was a place called the Saddle Club, which is where I had my second fight. And I wouldn't call it a fight because it was one punch to the mouth, and I dropped, and I stayed there because I don't like pain. I don't like pain. Anyway, I moved down to a little place called Colorado Springs. Anybody know about that? Another kind of, it's right in the Bible Belt. You know, they've got more churches there and massage parlors per capita than anywhere in the world. It's kind of amazing. Churches and massage parlors, and it's because there's a lot of military bases there and a lot of religious people. So went to college there, and I had a really good education because I moved. I went to a school where they had no theater program. But there were two people who had graduated from Carnegie Mellon University and traveled. This was, you know, in the 70s. So it was like they got on a hippie bus, and they came across the country and put on shows as they were going. And then they got to Colorado Springs and ran out of money. So they went to the college and they said, you know, you don't have a theater program. We should start one here. We could start one. So the first theater was a lecture hall. So we had wing space that was less than that on either side. The lighting board was actually on the wall, and it was just a bunch of like sliders that you would have to do. There was no master. So it was a great education because they were really amazingly artistic people who created things from nothing. We had no budget. It was a little, you know, those plastic molded chairs with the flip-up desks. Those were our theater seats, so everybody would come up there. And it's now a multi-million-dollar. It's like the Performing Arts Center in Colorado Springs. The guy who was my professor started that, and that was just completed a few years ago. And I went and saw the opening of that, which was, you know, it's pretty cool. But the good thing about that is when I moved out to San Francisco and I started producing plays. So I started producing plays in 1982. I had a company called the San Francisco Actors Theater, and we started producing plays. And it was really great because I had this education where people would go, oh, Mom, we got to have a guy fly in. You know, he's got to fly in from off the side. I go, that's nothing. All we got to do is, And that was the phrase that was kind of followed me around. All we got to do is, because I could always figure out a way to get shit for free, lots of shit for free, and then just give it back, at the end of it, give them a little credit in the program. And I learned how to do pretty much everything. So I've done set design, I've done light design, I've done sound design, I've directed, I've acted. Then in the 90s, I started getting into television and film. So that's kind of where that passion really came from. And now I'm much more, I will still do theater, but I prefer film and television. The difference that I find with the way that I teach, I did, after taking from a lot of different people, I've kind of gathered a lot of information from a lot of different teachers, kind of melded it all together, and then there's an aspect of it that I kind of feel like I invented, but who knows? I think it's probably similar to other people, but it's a little bit different. But the difference is that we take you through the whole process, so you become a holistic, what I call a holistic, WHO actor, because you learn not only the acting aspect, but you also learn all the technical aspects. Who's who on a set, what to expect when you get to the set, who are you going to meet, what do you got to do, what are some of the things that you need to know just in terms of the technical aspects when you go and talk to a director so that they feel comfortable, they feel confident that you're going to be able to do what you're supposed to be doing. And there are just little tricks to that. We work on audition process. We work on headshots. We talk about headshots and resumes and all of the different platforms that we have now to get auditions, how to do a self-tape, how to set up a self-tape setup in your house. So I try to keep it going. I also had a program that I'm very proud of. If you go to filmactorscafe.com, you can see the website. Also, there's some films that I wrote and directed, but it was kind of written with a class. So in other words, it was an 8-week class. We'd come in the first week. We'd talk about what kind of film do we want to make. And let's kind of come up with a subject. What kind of subject do we want to talk about? Okay, and then let's figure out what the characters will be. And then we kind of assign the characters. Next week, we come back and we start figuring out what scenes we'll need to do to put together to make this thing happen. And then we just do some improvisation, and I tape it, and I take it home, and I take what I see on the improv, and I condense it down into a film. And the third week, we start shooting, and we shoot every week for the next 6 weeks. And at the end of it, you'll see the product of 3 of those on the website there. So you can kind of see that we're really trying to get things happening here that are a little bit different than what we've been doing before. So on December 8th, starting at 4:30 in the afternoon. At 4:30 in the afternoon, I want to get a bunch of young adults. So I don't want kids, because kids are a little too squirrely and they have a hard time focusing, and I want people who are going to be, professional and really want to learn this, not just come and have a play date. So 10 to 16, 10 to 17 will be from 4:30 to 6:30. And then at 7 to 10, we're going to have adults come in. So 7 p.m. if you're an adult out there, 7 p.m. on December 8th, which is a Sunday. Come on down. It's a complimentary workshop where you can kind of see how I work. We're actually going to get up and do some scripts and work on some things so that you can kind of get the full experience. And hope to see you there. Again, my name is Aaron McIntyre. You can find me at Aaron McIntyre everywhere.
How do you spell
Aeron MacIntyre.
Aaron McIntyre.
Aaron McIntyre. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, baby.
Yes. One more time for the thespian stylings of the. I said thespian stylings of Aaron McIntyre. Woo! So you said the town was populated basically with churches and massage parlors. It's funny that you say that, because I on my way here I was feeling a little bit tense. So I stopped and I got a massage at the massage place down the street, and I asked for a woman, not because of anything sexual, because I can pay her 28% less. So I'm a fiduciary. It's a fiduciary decision completely. And I also want to quell a rumor. There's a rumor. The rumor is, of course, ayahuasca is now the pickleball of drugs. That's true. It's true. It's very true. This is the energy in here is a little blinding here. Am I right? The energy in here is kind of wowee. Because I have to tell you something. I was feeling great today, feeling great, So I thought I'd get in my car and drive for 32 minutes, come here, and pay $10 to be mildly ignored by my peers. Because let's face it, a lot of these open mics, I feel about a lot of these open mics the way Justice Clarence Thomas feels about affirmative action, the soft bigotry of low expectations. But not here. This is my home mic. Give it up for this mic. This is my home mic. When I'm here, I feel just like I do when I'm at home, riddled with anxiety and judgment. So that I got a terror laugh, but that's okay. I'll take what I can get. Let's face it. A solid upbringing and solid mental health didn't bring any of us here tonight. No, because if you are well-adjusted, I'm going to invite you to get the fuck out of here. Right now, you're in the wrong place. But you know who's in the right place? Because you guys, sincerely, I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause. You're here. You're not at home staring at your phone. Anya is actually staring at his phone here, but that's okay. We'll let that go. I got you. Well, there you go. It's because you had such a good experience on that last flight. Bella was that name? Latino woman. Latino women are sexy. I find a work ethic very sexy. It's very sexy to me. I love that. I love that. Well, I guess we're gonna bring our closer up. You guys ready for your closer? This man, rumor is he stopped a sexual assault across town on his way over here. He changed his mind. Ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Miles. Come on! Pow! One more time for Miles.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I didn't expect to be here tonight. I was actually at UCLA. I was going to try to watch Ben Shapiro was giving a speech, but they decided not to let me in because I had my Gaza Rocks shirt on. It was actually a shirt of a bombing that happened in Gaza, but yes, Gaza rocks. Speaking of that, Israel's been killing it lately, haven't they? They've been killing it lately. I don't know if you saw this, but like 2 weeks ago, they killed the leader of Hezbollah. Yes. Then the very next day, they killed the next leader of Hezbollah, like not even 24 hours later. And the truth is, I kind of feel sorry for the guy, It's like he spent all that time climbing the corporate terrorist ladder only to have it blown up from underneath you. You get what I mean? I mean, the poor guy, he was only in there for like less than 24 hours. He didn't get a chance to change over his business cards to say CEO of Hezbollah. He didn't get his new company email or anything. He didn't even get a chance to take a sexual harassment training. I mean, if the CEO doesn't take the sexual harassment training, what kind of hostile work environment could Hezbollah become, right? They're going to get bad, guys. They're going to get bad. Don't worry about it. Liam Payne. Did you guys hear about Liam Payne recently, the musician? So before he died, I found out that he was actually dropped by his record label. So it turns out it was murder. All right. Those late ones. Do you guys ever show up to work intoxicated?
All the time.
Okay, good. So I'm not the only one who drinks and Uber drives. Perfect. Just making sure I'm in good company here. A little bit of news stories. I'm going to go with a few news stories. So last week in Thailand, there was a bus crash, terrible one, and the bus burst into flames, and 30 children died in the inferno. The Thailand officials came out and made a statement fearing that this will send shockwaves through the sex tourism industry. Oh, I know. It's a bad one. I'm sorry, guys. It's a real problem over there. I'm not involved in it. Got no money. But boy, when I get paid. No, I'm joking with you. No. The election's coming up. Are you guys excited about the election? No? Woo, yeah, right. Who are you guys voting for? I think I see one way that this crowd is going. I'm actually going to vote for Trump. I really am going to vote for Trump. It's not that I think he's going to be a good president or anything. It's just like, to me, and I think I speak for a lot of guys in the audience, to me, the presidency is like sex. It feels better with a guy, doesn't it? You feel me, Al? You feel me? He's like, no, I do not. It's funny. Recently, a longtime school janitor, beloved school janitor, died a few months ago. And, like I said, everybody in the town loved him. And after he died, they found out that he used to be a Nazi prison guard. And everyone in the town was shocked by the news, except for the history teacher, who wasn't surprised by how well the school was cleansed. I don't know if you guys I got laughing over there. I don't know if you guys saw this recently, but in Switzerland they rolled out these $20 suicide machines. Did you guys see this? So these are machines, these little pods that you use. You pay $20 and you never talk to anybody again, basically. They recently had their first customer like 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting on the Yelp review. It's kind of odd though, right? Like a $20 suicide machine. I asked myself, where would I put a $20 suicide machine? And for me, it would be at the top of a really high bridge. You know what I mean? Just to give people options. You know what I mean? Come on, buddy. Treat yourself before you kill yourself. Don't go out like some poor. I can't wait. I can't wait until the advertisement wars for suicide machines when they have multiple ones. The only sad part is we'll never get the Pepsi challenge of suicide machines. Because once you try one of them, it's all over for you. You don't get to try the second one. I love the little sub laughs. Those are fun. I'm actually, my regular job, I'm a teacher. I'm actually a teacher. And her face like, oh my God, don't tell me you're a teacher. Her face was like, no. I know, right? The feature's in my hands. No, it's what I think about with teaching though. Sometimes, I try to inspire the kids, but I know a lot of these kids get inspired by like negative comments. You get what I'm saying? So like, you remember that Biggie Small song? This goes out to all the teachers who said I'd never amount to nothing. Yeah, so I take that to heart because a lot of people find perseverance through adversity. So that's why when I talk to my students, I try to just, neg them all the time. So I had like a pregnant student. She was in my class, and I knew that she wasn't going to be very great at being a mom. So I told her, your kids are going to be taken by DCFS. And because of that, I know she's going to be a great mother. In order to prove me wrong, she's going to get her kids all the new latest things, all the best shoes and all that. And her kid's going to be treated like a king, all because of me. I'm like an unsung hero. That's what I am. I know, the real heroes. Now, most recently, though, I was actually teaching in juvenile hall. I really was teaching in juvenile hall for the last 5 months. And through all my years of teaching, nothing truly prepared me for juvenile hall. So, I walked in on the first day, and there was a kid tattooing another kid's face in the back of class. And, these kids are big, too. They're like 18 years old, really tall kids. And so I walk up to him. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, he stands up. What do you want, mister? And all of a sudden, I'm like, I want a tattoo of the Virgin Mary eating out Taylor Swift. That's what I want. Right? I don't start anything with these kids. I mean, what are you going to do? They don't respond to, getting in trouble. What am I going to do? Give them detention? They're already detained. All right? But they're really cool, though. I mean, I became really cool with those kids. It's funny because they have conversations almost like they're on the outside, So, I remember one day I was talking to a student, and I was going to write him a letter for the judge, but I ran out of time. So I said, hey, man, don't worry about it. I'll do it on Monday. He looked at me and said, I'll be here. And I said, yeah, I know. You're in here for armed robbery, buddy. I don't think I'm going to see you at Disneyland this weekend, all right? It was funny, too, because the same kid, we were talking a few weeks later, and, because it's jail, you can't walk in with anything, on you. And so he came up to me, he was like, yo, Tatum, do you have the time? I said, no. Then he looked over at the guard. He was like, yo, man, do you have the time? The guard was like, no. He's like, damn, ain't nobody got time. I said, well, you guys got time. You guys got a lot of time, actually. No, they were great students. I really did like them a lot. Let's move on to some more terrible jokes. Prison. Oh, yeah, actually, prison. I couldn't imagine going to prison. I have a buddy in prison right now. He's serving a really long sentence. He left his kid in the car. But don't worry about it. The kid didn't die from the heat. It was the carbon monoxide poisoning. I don't know if you guys saw this story that's making the rounds. It's like a viral video that's making the rounds. It's with this Latina mother, and she's being escorted out of Disneyland. Did you guys see this one? So she's in cuffs, and she's being walked out of Disneyland, and her kids are walking next to her, screaming, we didn't do nothing, ayúdame, and all that stuff, right? And the mom is walking just as silent as a suspect. And what they were accused of, I think, is she was trying to sneak the kids into Disneyland. Now, I don't know if she's guilty or not, and it doesn't really matter to me if she's guilty or not, but I will say that Disneyland is doing a better job at protecting their borders than the United States is right now. I think we should send them down to the border, you know what I mean, for protection. We'll call it Disney on Ice. I like fortune cookies, but they're getting a little too specific. I opened a fortune cookie last week, and it said your test results will come back negative, which I was sad about because I recently took a midterm. I also had another one. I opened another fortune cookie, and it said you'll beat the charges, which is two things I'll beat. You know, two things I would have beaten. Let me see. Do I have anything else? It was a short one. Like I said, I didn't exactly expect to be here. I do have another negative one, but it's all right though. I'll do it for another time when I'm actually prepared to do the joke. How much more time do I got, Patty? A minute and a half. I can flip a page for sure. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the NFL, they recently pledged $50 million to fight anti-hate and anti-Semitism, which I think is a pretty good thing. But it makes me ask, will Kendrick Lamar still be performing at the halftime show, considering that we all know he's the biggest hater, and also he dropped more bombs on a Jewish guy than Hezbollah did this year. Hey. I think that's everything. This is probably not every. Oh, I'll do one more. So you guys know, like I said, I've been a teacher. I've been a teacher for a very long time, and a lot of people are concerned nowadays about woke teachers. That's what a lot of people were making a fuss about recently. Oh, woke teachers, woke teachers. They're afraid that the teacher's going to turn your kids gay or trans, and some of them definitely are for sure. Some of them will. But my friends, they're starting to have kids now, and they ask me, "Yo, Miles, where should I send my kids to school? Where should I send my kids to school?" And I said, "You should probably homeschool them." And they asked, "Why do you think homeschooling is better?" I said, "No, it's just the more homeschoolers we have, the sooner we'll get our first homeschool shooter." Just some kid sitting in the room polishing his gun like, "This will teach Mrs. Johnson to send me to bed with no supper." I think that's, I'm done. I think I'm done. All right, guys. Actually, I have some more terrible jokes, but I'm going to cut it right there because... Can we find you on social media? You can find me on Grindr. But you can find me on social media at PluckyCharm007. PluckyCharm007. Give it up for Miles.
Miles, one more time for Miles. I think we can all rest easy this evening knowing that our children and the future of this country are in the hands of Miles. I, for one, can take a deep breath. We've come to the end of our show. Once again, give yourself a round of applause. You've been great. Getting up and getting out of the house, it's not cheap, Gasoline actually got very expensive a little while back. It's going back up. I actually I quit buying it. I just buy cocaine and run everywhere. That works out well. But I want to thank you guys for coming. This has been the LA School of Comedy open mic, where if you think you're funny, if people tell you you're funny, maybe you're funny, but you won't know till you take it from the page to the stage. I'm Patty. You can find me at PADDYFORCOMEDY. I book a show every Wednesday at the Mix in Pasadena. So come on by. You've been great. I've been Patty. Good night. A good night to all.